I'm going to brief out about diuretics. What's diuretics? The diuretics are the drugs which will increases the urine production, which is done by the kidney, and most of these agents are affecting the water imbalance indifferently by altering the electrolyte reabsorption and also the secretion process. So basically, there is a osmotic agents which will affect the water balance directly, and there are various purposes or the uses of this diuretic drugs used in the treatment of edema, hypertension, congestive cardiac failure, and in case of the various other fluid abnormalities. Now, before going into the drugs, I would like to know what is a common scenario about how the urine formation process is taking place. So basically, the urine formation was done by the nephrons in the kidney, and which takes place by the three different steps. The first one is the glomerular filtration, which takes place in the glomerular region, and the next one is the second part in the nephron is the tubular region, where it has been divided into proximal convoluted tubule and then loop of Henle's, and in case of the distal convoluted tubule and collecting tract. Now, out of all these three different locations, we have the first step where we have the filtration of your blood, which takes place in the glomerular region, and that will help in case of filtering all the constituents except plasma proteins or large molecular weight substances. Now, most of the substances, including the water and many of the nutrients, when it is getting filtered, our body to takes up back, it will do the second step of your urine formation process as the tubular reabsorption. And third step is a secretion process. It is named as the tubular secretion process. Now, many of these substances will be reabsorbed predominantly in case of the proximal convoluted tubule region by various processes like active or passive diffusion process. So, in case of the drugs, when we come across, they all will play out of any of these three different locations, and they will try to reduce the or they will try to increase the urine formation, and it will try to reduce the various reabsorption or the secretion of various constituents. Now, for example, in case of the sodium, which is a basic important constituent in case of the extracellular body fluid, and predominantly most of the sodium will be reabsorbed in case of a proximal convoluted region, and also in case of loop of Henle, and then in case of the distal convoluted. So about 65% of the sodium has been predominantly reabsorbed in case of the PCT, which is nothing but the proximal convoluted tubule, and whereas in case of the loop of Henle or Henle's loop, we used to say, in this region we will be having only 15 to 20 percentage of reabsorption, and whereas in case of the last portion, that is a distal convoluted tubule area, it will do the reabsorption only 4% is the maximum. So hence, we have various other constituents which will balance our acid-base balance, and also in case of the edematous conditions in our body. So all these things are depends upon with the three steps of your normal urine formation process. Now we go to the drugs. In case of the classification, they have been classified according to the location wise, and also the chemical classification depends upon the chemical ring structure. So the first category was been named as the thiazide diuretics, which includes with the chlorothiazide, chlorthalidone, hydrochlorothiazide, and metolazone. And whereas a second one is named as the loop diuretics, which is a very familiar drug which is very commonly used, is a furosemide or torsemide or ethacranic acid or bumetamide. And third one is the potassium sparing diuretics. In the potassium sparing diuretics, we have spironolactone, triamterene, amiodarone, and in case of the fourth category is named as the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, we have only one drug which is named as the acetazolamide. And the last one is the osmotic diuretics, where it has two drugs. One is the mannitol, and in case of the urea. Now, this is a general scenario. What are all the different categories of the drugs what we have been classified will act on different locations of your nephrons, which helps in case of increasing the urine output and also removal of various other ionic constituents which is uh, increased during any of the various edematous conditions. Now, one of the simple example is the first one is your osmotic diuretic, which will affects in case of your or which will acts in case of the uh, glomerular region, where it will increase the osmotic pressure and it will try to do the increase the filtration process. Whereas in case of the second category, which is named as your loop diuretics, this loop diuretics will act upon in case of the Henry's loop and preferably in case of the ascending loop of Henle. So this is the named as the ascending loop of Henle and this is the descending loop of Henle. And this will affect specifically the sodium, potassium and chloride reabsorption. All the three ions together, they'll be moving it in a different directions and this reabsorption was been inhibited by the loop diuretics. Whereas in case of the thiazide diuretics, which is the first category of your diuretics in the classification, and they will act in case of the distal converted tubule area and that will affects only two ions, that is your sodium and chloride. And next, the last one is in case of your potassium sparing diuretics. These diuretics they preferably act in case of the collecting duct region and this will affect predominantly of sodium and also in case of the chloride. So this is a common scenario about how these various diuretics are acting in case of the nephron.